So knowing is the problem, so-called problem. Of course, there's a problem. I mean, that's why we look at videos and have meetings and talk about all this crazy non-duality. Non-duality. Okay, non-duality is a stupid word. It's just a word that's pointing to the fact that there's no knowledge, no knowing. There's an assumption everywhere about that the world is knowing. But this is somehow about knowing. It's like it's a virus, is what it is. It's just infected everything. I mean, that's a negative way to say it. There's nothing negative about it. It's just the way it appears. But knowing, this religion of knowing, or this, I don't know, it's just a custom, it's a habit, it's everybody, well, it's part of the human experience. It's, we're all born, apparently, we're all in bodies, apparently, in the way this, my body minds, and knowing is part of the gig. It's part of the equipment. We grow up and this knowing is cultivated in the child. It's not inborn. We're not born with knowing. But it's part of the initiation into the world, the human experience. It becomes a knowing experience. I mean, we're Homo sapiens. That's a clue, right? What does that mean? It means the one who knows. Homo is man, sapiens is knowing. So, I mean, it's obvious. Everyone knows that we're the to be human is to be playing this game of knowing. This activity of knowing is built in, apparently. But it can be noticed that isn't true, that it's a kind of a game. And it's a game that's, it's not a game you really want to play, once you notice it. I mean, it's limited. So the other thing about humans is that even though we are knowers, apparently, I mean, in the sense, we're also an expression of something that is not limited, you could say. Because there is no limit, there's nothing limited. Even in the human realm, there's nothing limited, because the human is here, in this. There's nothing else but this. Human isn't excluded from this. The knowing activity is exclusion. It works on exclusion. So it seems like there's a reality that's exclusive, that me as a human am somehow outside of this, outside of the world, separate. But that's an illusion. It's not true. Not true. So, but this knowing activity, parent activity, makes it seem like there's separation. It creates that reality. So it seems real. When everybody's reflecting this reality to one another. I mean, except for a few random apparent ones that are, pointing to what is. pretty crazily, and it's a very gauche communication because it upsets the whole apple cart. It's not very socially chic, but it is interesting to, if that's what you're resonating with, if you have this sort of intuition about knowing that it's a sham, that knowledge is a rumor and it's unsupported. So that's really all it is. Just pointing to this, assuming that I know something, like the little kid in the Emperor's New Clothes story. Everybody's pretending that we're not naked. There's so much, so many different kinds of clothes to wear, right? So many different stories. We're all clothed in our stories. Walk around with these layers and layers of my story. Well, you can wear layers and layers of story, but it doesn't change the fact that there's just this, and there is no knowing. There's nothing known. Can you walk with nothing? It's just recognizing the fact, the case. To know is to feel like I need to know more. It's a game. It's a game that says, I know something, and now I'm playing a game of limited, and I need to get what I'm what's beyond my limitation. And now I know time, and now I know time and space and an experience, and it's now a field of possibility, all kinds of things, where I can now get what I need, what I don't have, what I'm missing, the knowledge. That I have knowledge, but knowledge is always limited, and is always pointing to more knowledge, leading to, the hamster wheel is a perfect, image. The hamster in the wheel is running after the knowledge that it doesn't have. And once you have knowledge, that's what starts the wheel. Because knowledge is limited. It's taken the whole everything, cut it up into pieces, and I have some of it. It's what every me says. I have some knowledge, who I am, what I am, my situation is, my limited situation, how I can describe it, how I can conceive it, and I know what I can do, or at least what I can try to do. This next moment, in this field of knowledge, I can go on and get the knowledge that I need, or the experience, or the condition that I can bring about. So it's crazy. There is no condition to come or that can be brought about. The condition is this. That's wholeness. It's what everything is. It's not missing anything. It's not incomplete. And it's always the case already. Until I take up this attitude of knowing. And that throws everything to the wind and leaves me leaves me just with my knowledge. Cancels everything. Cancels the whole completeness, the whole, what is just is. And then now I'm left with this journey of trying to get somewhere, trying to find something. Well, there isn't anything. There is no other condition. Knowledge is a fantasy. Fantasy of a condition, a limited condition that I call my life, my experience, and some other condition that is to be, in the future, that I can get or have. How do I do it? With my story and my knowledge and my assuming of being separate and, relating with all of these other separate things, separate people, separate events, stories. So that isn't happening. it's stories are everywhere, but they're not happening. No story has ever happened. There's just been this already all along, looking like whatever it looks like. It seems to be moving. It seems to be, that's the way this is. It appears as separate things, as this moving field of we don't know what. And there's no one here to know. That's the thing. Once there's someone, if I'm, a me, if there was a me here, the me would need to know. Because without my knowledge, I'm not anything. So me is, in a way, this little imaginary structure that's created by its knowing, created by the idea, I know. Then you have me. And then you have me is always in his story, his or her, or their story. Me and my story. It's like me and my shadow. You never see me without my shadow or my story. But my story is always just me running around in my own little bubble, looking for myself, looking for life, for the wholeness that's just this. But I can't see it if no me can see that. You can't see it from the me position.